Hey everybody, James and Roll Hill Internal Combustion. Back to project will it ever end. Uh, got more work done on the 305. It's back in the car, everything's bolted in. Um, Put a brand new Carter fuel pump on it. I'm not going to be using the tank that's in the car, so I'm just going to hook that to a nurse can when I go to start the car up. Because we checked our tank's very, very rusty. I'm not going to use it, and the inside of this fuel line is probably rusty too, so I'm going to end up probably putting a fuel cell in this thing and running a new line. Got all the brake lines done, and I just have to hook up the fitting on the driver's side caliper, but all my lines are bent and everything else. That took quite a while because mistakes were made, and I made mistakes. But I got everything looking the way that I wanted to look. I just kind of started at the wrong end with the whole process because I wasn't thinking right. I got some new AC Delco belts on this thing, ordered them through Rock Auto. They fit absolutely perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the two packages the belts came in and write them down someplace so I can get the same size belts, because like a lot of times you just play the belt game with people. You'll get a belt and it'll be 2 inches too long, it'll be an inch too short. These fit absolutely perfect, and they were, I think, $8 a piece, which you can't beat for belts because I've seen them go for a lot more. Let me pull you off the tripod and we'll look at some stuff. Now I was having problems with the dipstick on this engine. It's the passenger side dipstick, which is the, I think it's the 85 and up engines have the passenger side dipstick. I might be wrong on that. The whole problem I was having is all the places that listed a dipstick for this thing, the tube size was too big. And I think they listed the tube bore supposed to be 0.36 inches, and mine was measuring out at 0.34. I made sure that the old tube wasn't broken off down in the bore. I know I pulled it when I took this engine apart, so it's not in there. It's just weird that this block is somehow undersized. Maybe it was a 305 thing, I don't know. I couldn't find a dipstick that fit it. What I did was I bought this dipstick. I'm not going to say what company I bought it from because it's not really their fault that it didn't fit. But what I had to do was I had to go in here and chuck this up in a drill press. It actually comes off of the dipstick. The lower and upper tubes separate. They're threaded. I took the lower part up, put it in a drill press, took an angle grinder to it with one of the wheels, not a cutoff disc. I'm having brain fart today. The ones with the pieces of sandpaper on them. I used one of those, and I took the outside diameter down on this till it fit down in my dipstick bore. And then I had to take a chainsaw file and redo my O-ring grooves because the O-rings were sticking out way too far. Actually, I just broke that O-ring taking it back out, but yeah, so I made it fit. It's a nice looking dipstick. And I'm not trying to go all snazzy on stuff, but the one factory one I bought, there's no real way to take 2 thou out of a dipstick tube that's made out of hard metal. I don't have the equipment to do that. So, and I couldn't take any off the OD of that, or it would have just snapped right off. So, got the dipstick to work. Found my old alternator. Luckily, the alternator was replaced when I bought the car, so that went back on there. I got my power steering pump. I took that all apart, cleaned it, flushed it out, took the pulley off, put the pulley back on. That was a bit nasty because the threads were all boogered up inside the pulley, but we did get it to go back together. All the belts look like they line up really good. The only problem I had was I bought a set of aftermarket alternator brackets for this thing because the old ones that were on here were those cheap chrome ones from like Transdapt, and they were rusty, nasty, and falling apart, and I really hate getting sliced up by chrome that's coming off of something. So I ditched those, but the one that I bought afterwards, it doesn't fit right. It pushes the alternator at a funny angle, so I got to score a factory one and make sure that'll fit with this manifold. Another thing I did was I went through the entire distributor, took it all apart, put it back together. I put new heat transfer paste underneath of the ignition module, tested it. It tested okay. The coil tested okay. This distributor is the distributor I ran this car home from Delaware in, so it should technically still work. I got it in there oriented the way I want it so that I've got adjustment. As you can see, my vacuum pot's got room to move, and where the battery and tack hook into, that's got room to swing, so I'm going to have plenty of adjustment on this thing if I need it. But it is set to top dead center right now, and I've got number 1 cylinder set to be next to where the battery and tack hook into. I think that's the factory location, but I'm not sure. I put my number 1 where I want it to be. So it's going to be right back here is number 1. Chevy's clockwise, so it's going to go around this way with the firing order. So that's in there. It's set. So technically, if I hooked a battery wire to it and cranked on this thing, it should light right off once I put a carburetor on it. Carburetor's coming next. This braided line here is from an oil pressure gauge. This is actually a line off of a turbo setup that I bought off of Amazon. It was 22 bucks. Came with all the fittings. I'm going to have to do a little finagling to get it to go into a cheapy gauge, but I'll show you that when we get to it. But drilled a hole in the firewall, put a grommet on there, got it running out of the way, so it looks nice and clean. What I'm trying to do with this car is I'm taking my time putting it together now because I don't want to have to go through and play the, oh, I should have did it this way, I should have did it that way. I'm trying to think this all through, that way when I go to do another engine swap on this thing later, when I get the 350 done, it's basically change the parts over, change the fittings over, drop it in, done. Also did I pulled the booster off of here because the old master cylinder was leaking pretty bad, but luckily it didn't leak into the booster. When I pulled the booster off of it, I pulled this grommet out here and looked down inside with a flashlight to make sure there wasn't any brake fluid in the booster, because it will eat the rubber away and you'll end up with a blown booster at some point and a big old vacuum leak and no power brakes. This one looked good, so I sanded it down, painted it. This is a brand new AC Delco master cylinder. Put that on there. And I ran the lines today. Like I said, I screwed the lines up pretty bad. I tried to start down underneath the frame and bring them up, and I should have started up here at the master cylinder, did my twirlies, and then took it back. That made it a lot easier. And to bend these into the circles, I didn't use any bending tools. I took and wrapped around a piece of, I think it's 2 1/4 inch exhaust pipe. Just did it real slow, and actually I could still take that piece of pipe and run it here, because once I got the 1/4 inch line done, I hung the pipe out of here and slowly wrapped the 3/16 line around, came up here, flared it, and put it together. And the reason I replaced these lines, when I took the old master cylinder out of it, somebody put the lines back into the master cylinder, but they didn't double flare them, and they honestly barely single flared them. So I was like, I think I need to take all the brake lines apart just to make sure I'm not going to run into a problem, because brake lines need to be double flared. And now they are. So I'm thinking that's looking pretty good. I've got a new power steering high pressure hose that I got in that I have to put on. And I also got a new rubber hose off of Rock Auto. It was on clearance. I think it was like $1 for 3 feet of it. So I bought that too. I'm going to be putting that in here pretty soon. I've got some of my wiring taken care of. That's the wiring for the heater controls. I'm not going to be running the heater box in this right away. I just want to get the car running and take it out and drive it for a little bit, and then figure out I got to modify the heater box to get it to work. But then I've got this whole mess of spaghetti over here that I need to deal with and find out what wires go where and what got cut off, because there's a fair amount of, like, this part of the harness is good, but when you get down towards the end of it, there's just a lot of crimp connectors and bad terminals, and I'm probably going to be breaking out my shop manual to go through the electrical. That's, you know, you could tell that's an alternator wire, but the other one one of them should be the starter solenoid, and then the big wire will go down to the main lug on the starter. But I want to separate all that, cut everything short so I have just what I need under the hood. But that's going to be coming up next. But I just want to give everybody a little update. This is where I am right now. It's been a week since we put the engine in, and I kind of been a little slow at getting it to this point, but it's to a point. So that'll be it for this one. I'll see you on the next one. I'm probably going to do a video on brake lines and brake tools and everything else, because I just like, I mean, I think my brake lines are neatly ran. Other people might disagree. I don't care if you disagree or not. I think they look good. And show you some NICOP and some of the tools that I got that make the job a whole lot easier. I don't use steel line anymore. It's just, I have the tools that'll do steel line. It's just such a pain to bend and flare and everything else, so I don't touch it no more. And I definitely don't deal in stainless line, because that's even harder to bend and cut, and you need some serious hardcore tools, which I don't have for stainless line. But that's it. I hope to have this thing running within the next week or two, depending on how things go. I just got some parts in, spark plugs, hoses, stuff like that. I got a few more things to order, and I pre-fit the headers on here. I'm running shorties on here. I did have to dimple the driver's side. Passenger side looks like it's going to be fine, so next time you see this thing, it'll be a little bit more put together. This is James from All Hail Internal Combustion. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Like and share. See you on the next one.